Clayson. We're at MotorEx 2019 in Melbourne. We're here with my BN Sports BLS RX7. This car originally started its life as a street car. So I started off drifting in a FC RX7 back in like 2004, 2005. And the FD was always my dream car as far as a drift car was concerned. When we had the opportunity to buy this street car as a rolling shell, I knew straight away that this is the car I wanted to build as far as my dream car. This was it. We'll start at the start, which is the Night Sports VMount Kit. This VMount Kit is made predominantly for a street car, runs a Koyo N-Flow radiator and a Koyo intercooler. It's usually able to handle up to around the 500 horsepower, so we're pushing the limits of this VMount kit with this current setup. Then we move on to the intake system. Is a Rotary Works 90 millimeter throttle body with the Greddy elbow. The inlet is obviously the OEM inlet, which we've match ported and taken out the standard OEM butterflies out of the upper intake manifold. We go down to the lower intake manifold, which is a Semi PP manifold made by SCR. It's a cast manifold that's made purely for the Semi PP engine. We run a Mazda water pump setup, so we've got an electric water pump that's controlled through a control box and the link ECU. We just use a control box that controls its water flow, so we can speed that up and slow it down as we need. It's basically a thermostat, electrically controlled. So the internals of the engine, it's a 13B Semi PP. We use the OEM irons and OEM rotors and housings. The rotating assembly is actually a balanced and blueprinted rotating assembly by Rowan at Xtreme Rotaries. They're also slotted to take the 3mm apex seals. We use a SCR unbreakable apex seal that's always found to be reliable. The engine itself, as far as porting is concerned, has standard ports, but we have extend ported them, so they've been tickled a little bit. Running the 6 Injector Dynamics 1700cc injectors, they're pretty much at 80% duty cycle at the moment, so we're making that much power that we really need to upgrade to the 2000 cc's. There's actually no injectors in there at the moment because they're off being tested and cleaned for the new setup. Then we go down to the exhaust side, the hot side, which is the Borgwarner EFR 8374. We're running a 145 twin scroll rear housing. We're actually found with this motor being a Semi PP that it's actually flowing too much for this turbo. So we need to upgrade. So our next upgrade is to the 92 EFR, which will flow a lot more. It's got an 80 millimeter wheel, a Turbo Smart 60 millimeter external gate, which is set up as a priority gate, so the gate itself comes straight off in front of the ports, the exhaust ports, and it just helps to control boost with the rotaries. So we're running 30 centimeter oil coolers. We need to run these because of how hot this engine gets. Moving on from the engine, we've got a direct clutches twin plate clutch. They've always been reliable for me, the direct clutches twin plates. They handle the power, they're not hard underfoot, and they're easy to operate. Then we move back to the TTI 6-speed sequential gearbox. We're running a Sure Fab, which is some guys out of New Zealand that made the selector for us, the gear stick selector. It's obviously all billet alloy. They designed this in New Zealand and sent it over for me, so it makes it a lot easier to shift the gears. And we're running a Motorsport strain gauge gear knob, which is the same sort of gear knob that the V8 supercars run. And obviously that's wired into the computer to help with flat shifting when you're changing gears. Being a drift car, obviously we've got the hydraulic handbrake. Interior wise, we're running a carbon fibre fascia made by Angry Panda. Attached to that is the AIM Strata dash. The ECU is a Link Thunder G4 Plus. They're not actually bride seats, they're velo seats made in South Australia. The cage itself was originally made by Walker Chassis in South Australia as well. We had some modifications done to it as far as the ladder bar in the doors and the side intrusion bars and the roof bars. Steering wise, we're using the standard steering rack for the FD. I've found that it's the best for this car. We're using a WiseFab Kit. So this WiseFab Kit is the newest kit for the FD RX7, and you can get up to 80 degrees of lock, which is a fair bit over standard. So that's about 80 degrees, so it's 10 degrees off of 90. So the WiseFab Kit itself, the lower control arms give you about 80 millimeters of track each side over standard. Suspension wise, we're using the Wisteria Kick Blue, which is a coilover straight out of Japan. So they're actually originally made by DG5 suspension in Japan. So the Diff is the Cusco two-way. It's the MZ two-way, so you can adjust it from two-way to 1.5 way. Under the car, you'll see that we're also running a gearbox cooler and a fuel cooler. The smaller one is the fuel cooler, the larger one is the gearbox oil cooler. You have to run that as the gearbox generates so much heat. We're also running on the Diff itself a brace that was laser cut, and it stops the Diff itself from splitting apart, because the FD diffs are renowned for pushing the crown wheel and pinion apart, cracking the casing. The BN Sports BLS kit was released in Tokyo Auto Salon 2017. Dory Junkie are the Australian distributor for BN Sports, and I'd been talking with those guys to secure the deal that we have with BN Sports now. The BN Sports kit is probably the most aggressive kit you can get for the FD. Front and rear width wise, you're talking 2.1 meters wide, which is also good for the WiseFab kit because it tucks the wheels in nicely. It's got a Rocket Bunny feel, but it's a lot different than the Rocket Bunny kit. The swan neck wing is something that BN Sports have used on all of their BLS kits, and it's not been seen with many cars or many body kit developers in Japan. The windows themselves are made of acrylic. The acrylic windows I went for because you could obviously pick whatever colour you wanted. Originally I picked the yellow windows to go with the blue paint job, but they also suited the vinyl wrap that we've got on the car. The vinyl wrap itself is made by Avery Dennison. It's called Rolling Thunder, and it's a colour shifting vinyl. So it's not actually painted. A lot of people think that it's painted, but it's actually a vinyl wrap. What about wheels? The wheels are TE37s. On the front we have a 17x9. On the rear we use a TE37V. They're at 18 by 11.5 neg 40. So this is probably the most wildest RX7 in Australia, but for me it's the wildest RX7 I've ever driven. To be a drift car but also a show car is what I set out to do when I first started building it. It's my dream car as far as I'm concerned, and I guess a lot of people can agree with that it is a dream RX7. Thanks for watching, guys, and big thanks to Street Effects for coming along to view the car, and yeah, let's take you for some laps.